Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Connections on Purpose gathering with the On Purpose Woman Global Community. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Catherine Yarbrough, and I'm facilitating this meeting, stepping in for Jenny Robertson, who is recovering from a brief stint with not feeling well. And so I'm glad you're here, whether you're with us on Zoom or watching this on our YouTube channel. Thank you for being with us. We have an inspiring and insightful speaker today, Melissa Henry. Yay. She's going to be talking about signature positioning, the missing strategy behind lasting influence. Now, I want that. I'm excited about it. So, Melissa is the founder of Hell of a Brand and a trusted brand strategist for women entrepreneurs ready to be known as influential leaders in their space. And she does a lot of really good stuff. She was dubbed the brand therapist. What a cool name by her clients. Melissa translates big vision into category of one brands that open bigger doors and amplify their impact. So you can find out more about her at her website, which is hell of a dash brand, brand.com. And we'll do our best to get that link to you and so that you can find her easily. So, Melissa, let me remove myself so you can take it away.
Thank you. Thank you, Catherine. Thanks everyone for showing up today. And I'm really excited to dive into this with you. A couple of things I want to say before we started recording here. A couple of the members were talking about some things that were so pertinent to this. Sherry talked about showing up before you're ready. That is going to be kind of an undercurrent in this and what I'm about to share with you. And then, of course, Catherine talked about how she helps women use their voices to speak about what matters to them. And both of these things are really at the kind of the I don't know crux of what we get to talk about today. So we had a discussion question, which is what's something you believe about your industry or what's happening in the world that you don't talk about publicly? And I'm gonna I'm gonna really kind of dive deep in here because this idea of speaking what's on our mind, looking at what's going on in the world or in our industry, and being basically non-apologetic about your point of view on it, that is so key to influence. And most people will think that this is like when you're talking about building a brand, when you're talking about positioning yourself in your market, that that's about niching down in your messaging and things. And yes, that is a part of it. But what I'm going to prove to you today is that what really differentiates you, what makes you that category of one, is having a point of view and actually expressing it. So I think you guys you that were here in the room with us just a little bit ago, you kind of saw what we talked about, like some things you're frustrated about, things that you feel like you want to fight for, that kind of thing. And I'm going to share with you my point of view. So my point of view is that the balance of power in our world right now is dangerously skewed towards like very few, very wealthy men who are making decisions that benefit only them and their families. And I really do believe that the way that we fix this is that we elevate women to gain more influence, power, and wealth. And that's why I do the work that I do. That's my point of view that is directly tied into the vision of what I want to achieve. So I'm going to say too, like your point of view can be very more specifically focused on your industry. It can be world focused. It literally can be anything. You just want to be able to tie it to the work that you do for your clients. Okay. So I'm going to tell you, I'm just going to give you a little backstory about why this is so important to me and about why I even came up with this talk, because it kind of starts back in November 6th of 2024. That was the morning after the election. And I remember waking up with this sort of, I kind of just knew what the results were. I felt this like knots in my stomach. And then I reached for my phone And before I even unlocked the screen, I was just like, oh my God, I just know. And I had this incredible sense of dread because I felt at that moment that we had crossed a line that we were never going to turn back from. And I unfortunately couldn't crawl back into my bed and hide and pull the covers over my head because I had client calls that were scheduled and I needed to be there for my clients. So basically that day I showed up for my work, I worked with my clients, I threw myself into all of it. And when the day ended, I noticed something really interesting. I actually felt better. And when I sat and thought about it, I was like, well, I realized at that moment that I help people who are genuinely trying to make things better in the world. And they do that through their expertise and their experience. And so I realized, hey, it's not that I'm just helping them. I'm actually helping their clients too by showing up and being 100% there for them and helping them build these influential brands. So I got connected to my purpose in a way that I had never really felt that deeply about before. Because for a long time, I kept my feelings about what's happening in the world separate from my business because I thought it wasn't on brand to talk about it. And I did. I feared, like, what would people say? Like, would people stop following me? Would they, unsubscribe? Would they send me hate, speech or troll me or whatever? Um, but then I started seeing other people do it, and I thought, huh, I can do this too. I feel really strongly about these things, and why am I not talking about it? And then I even realized, oh my God, that the world is not separate from what we do and who we serve. It's not separate. It's not like there's this place that you put all that stuff, and over here we're doing business and none of that seems to seep in. That's baloney. It totally does, right? So I started to pay very close attention during the year 2025, watching how all the systemic things that have been building up over many, many years, how that really connects to women and to women entrepreneurs. And I saw how massively divided we've become. I saw how this version of masculinity, this toxic version of masculinity, was what was running the show. And I don't want to vilify men. I don't, absolutely do not. It is just like there's this version of men that we've just kind of embraced, and it's, in my view, wrong. And all of this is happening at the same time that AI is accelerating rapidly. And I don't know if you know this or not, but the vast majority of those who are building AI and training those systems, they're men, and they're building them with a male perspective. So where are all the women's voices in this? So I I truly believe we, as a collective community of women entrepreneurs, we need to build our own influence. We need to create more wealth. We need to rise into more positions of power. And it's not because we're trying to make another, like, skew this to the other side imbalance. It's because the world needs what we are uniquely, as women, positioned to provide. So I also believe that the women who are ready to do this and who will stand up and speak their mind are the ones that are, they want to play it safe. They're the ones that want to be they want to actually really make a big change in the world, and they're not trying to be everything for everybody. They're trying to be the person for a few people, right? And I say a few, but like they're trying to be the right person for a group of people specifically. Because your job is not to be palatable for everyone, it's to be unforgettable for your ideal clients. And that does require you to voice your own opinions within the context of how you help those clients. So that is how you will claim more influence in your space. And I'm going to show you very specifically what this looks like in practice. But first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Casey. So, Casey, she's an image consultant. She shared with me that she does a lot of speaking to different groups, but she's just not bringing in the clients that she feels she should. And when I asked her to give me more detail, she goes, I don't want to niche down because, I know all these people in different groups that would really support me and put me in front of these great audiences, but It's just really hard for me to pick a direction. And she gets excited about these new ideas. She keeps adding things to her plate, but then she starts to get overwhelmed. She says she's really good at big picture thinking, like big vision stuff, but she struggles to break it down into actual steps that will provide her, direction and actually get her where she wants to go. She has trouble nailing down a specific offer and figuring out how to promote it. And she never really created a clear marketing campaign. It's more like, oh, I think I feel like talking about this today, so I'm going to throw it up on the wall and see if it sticks, right? And she ultimately feels because of all of this, it's like a feast or famine in her business. And she's just really exhausted and burning out. And so, very quickly, I just want you guys to give me a hand raise. Who here can resonate with at least one of the things I've mentioned about Casey? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is a real thing for many, many, many women entrepreneurs. Um, yeah, so Casey's complaint about not bringing in those clients, it's not because she's not a good speaker. She speaks on a lot of different stages. She's had that experience. It's really more of a positioning problem. She can't pick a direction because she doesn't really know what she wants to be known for. And she can't create a clear offer because she tries to serve everyone. And she can't run that consistent marketing campaign because she doesn't have a position, a platform to build from. And so every single time you speak without clear positioning, you're training everyone to see you as generic. So that ends up looking like spending time, energy, wasting opportunities, but not actually building towards something like recognition and influence in the specific area that you want to be known for. So another quick hands, I want you guys to show me how many of you guys are out there speaking to grow your business. Yeah, awesome. Looks like just about everybody. So keep your hands up just a little bit longer. And for those of you who have your hands up right now, how many of you are bringing in clients regularly from speaking? Mm, Some people put their hands down. Okay, a little bit. Okay, I got you. That's cool. Um, yeah, so here's what I know. You're not alone. Most entrepreneurs who speak are not converting the way that they should. So they're visible, they're out there, they're doing the work, but then something's not clicking. And the good news is I'm going to help you today to get a little bit more clear about how you're uniquely positioned to be the obvious choice for your perfect fit clients so that this is not a problem for you anymore. And before we kind of go into the details here, I want you guys just to have an understanding or a bigger picture about what positioning means. It's kind of two things. So on the one hand, it's like putting yourself into a bucket or a category so that people can kind of understand how you compare. And at the same time, it's also showing how you're uniquely different than everyone else in the bucket. Okay. So in other words, it's like, because humans really need to understand like relativity, like not Einstein's relativity, but they need to understand you relative to whoever else is in your bucket, right? So it can feel a little bit complicated, but let's go ahead and get this like and write this down. I want you to number one, I want you to decide what bucket or category what you specifically do belongs in. This is by the way the beginning of the framework that I'm going to teach to you. So, what bucket or category do you belong in? I don't want you to be clever about this. So you'll find people who will say, "Well, I'm a foundational business alchemist," or something to that effect, right? And if someone said that to me, I go, "I don't know what you're talking about," you know? So if that's the case, maybe you're a business coach. That's the category that you belong in is business coaching. We can talk about titles later, but like, what's the category, right? So I'm going to use Casey throughout this. So just to give you the example as we walk through this. So in Casey's case, she might pick a category that people would more like typically understand. Personal stylist could be appropriate to define her bucket, right? And the reason we're doing this is because when we get to step 4, it's going to be important for you to know what bucket you're in. Okay? Everybody got that? Cool. All right, I'm seeing people nod their heads and they're writing and things. So, okay, number two, second part of this framework, get absolutely clear on who your specific audience is and what their main problem is. And I'm talking overarching problem. Okay. And I know most entrepreneurs are very vague here. They just fight the idea, like Casey, of getting more specific because they're afraid it's going to turn clients away. But I'm going to be insistent on this. You cannot serve everyone, and it's a good thing to turn some people away. All right, it's going to make you more, it's make things more easy for you, way more profitable if you commit to this. So in Casey's case, she said she serves people in a period of transition in their life, but that could mean anyone. That could mean marriage, divorce, promotion, job, could mean a lot of things, right? So what I would suggest to her is that she serves professional women in their 40s and 50s, navigating menopause, whose changing bodies are making them feel uncomfortable in corporate settings. I know that feels like a lot, but we went several layers deep, didn't we, about who that is? And we know who that woman is, all of us do. So I want you to quickly put a yes in the chat if you feel the difference between I work with people in transition and what I just shared with you. Is there a difference there? Yes, 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 yes. So good. I know you guys can feel that. All right, number three, what is the ultimate outcome that your audience desires? Again, overall transformation, because people don't buy a method, a modality, they don't buy your experience, your credentials, none of that. They buy the transformation you provide them. So for Casey, we are not going to go down the road of styling services or wardrobe consulting or any of that. We're not doing that. What they're buying, these women I just described to you, what they're buying is the ability to walk into a boardroom and command the room. And that's like not despite their changing body, but because they've learned to dress like the authority they are. They want to shift from feeling invisible and apologizing for aging to actually showing up as this leader, right? So that's a transformation she's selling, right? It's not a capsule wardrobe. So we want to define that. What's that real overarching transformation your clients experience when they work with you? So number four, I want you to define what makes your work different from others in your category. Remember I said number one, we gotta figure out what the category is. Well, look around at your industry. Who are your competitors? And when you do this, I'm going to caution you. A lot of people feel this like I don't know, like imposter syndrome come up when they're looking at their competitors. Throw that out the window, you guys. This is not about that. What it is really strategic intelligence gathering. So what you're going to be looking at is not like, are they better than me or any of that? What you're going to be looking at is who do they serve? What kind of messaging are you seeing them say? What kind of transformation do they say they provide? What's their approach? Do they have like some kind of framework that they use, this kind of thing? And what you're looking for here, you're looking for the gaps that you fill. Okay? So you could be saying things differently from them. There could be like something that they're, not talking about that you could talk about. And there could be an audience that you could serve that they're overlooking. So in Casey's situation, most people in her category, they're going to talk about looking polished and put together, dressing for your body type, finding colors that flatter you. They're all focused on external stuff, clothes, colors, looking good, right? But Casey, she could own this idea about navigating body changes using style, right? Or refusing to be invisible and showing up the way you want to be showing up, that kind of thing. So that's the gap. That's what makes her different. Okay, so number five, there's only one more after this. Number five, I want you to define what makes you unique in your space. So what does this look like? Very quickly, I'm going to tell you. Looks like experiences. This comes from your personal experiences and your clients' experiences. Education, credentials. These are the tactical things, yes. Expertise honed over time. your proprietary framework or way of doing things, and what do your clients say about you? Go back through your testimonials, your feedback, like referrals that you've gotten. Look for those patterns. What words do they use to describe you? What changed for them? What did they say that they got from you that they didn't get from anyone else? Because sometimes your clients articulate what makes you different better than you can, which is pretty cool. And then the final piece, this is what we started with, you guys. This one's the hardest for many people, but it's so powerful for speaking, for attracting clients, and all of it. And that's your point of view. So, what is your contrarian stance? That thing that you don't, yeah, I'm a little afraid to talk about this, but it's the contrarian stance that you have about your industry or what's happening in the world. Like I always tell people, what pisses you off? What makes you angry? I know that, Sandra's involved in talking about anger here, right? But what makes you angry, right? So, examples for Casey could be something like, corporate culture expects women to navigate menopause while pretending nothing's happening, you know, or we've been trained our entire careers to look professional, which really means don't be too much, don't stand out, don't draw attention. Make yourself smaller so the men in the room feel comfortable. Whatever it is, right? But she might have this point of view. And I'm going to tell you, here's what point by having that point of view and expressing it actually does for you. So I'm going to give you 3 quick examples, maybe 2. I don't know how much time we've got left here, so I don't want to take up all the time. But Brene Brown. So she became very famous, right? Because she said vulnerability is strength when everyone else in her field was talking about confidence and resilience. She is a category of one. She is a thought leader, right? Glennon Doyle, right? She's the voice for women that are unlearning patriarchy. And that's because she connects personal healing to dismantling systems. She's the leader of a movement, right? So I just want you to stop really briefly and share with me in the chat really quickly. Put yes if you think having a point of view helped them to stand out. Was it important? Was it key? Yes, right? I know. And I don't know, put in the chat if that makes you a little uncomfortable. Say yes if it makes you uncomfortable. Yeah, Glennon. Let me grab that. It is Glennon. Yeah, so these women didn't just niche down. They took a stand. They had a point of view that was different. Even the opposite of what everyone else in their category was saying. And that's what made them a category of one. That's the power of this. And most strategists will leave this out of the equation, but I keep it. You know why? Because it makes you memorable. It separates you from everyone else in your category. You guys, this gets you speaking opportunities. Who wants to stand there and listen to somebody say the same old stuff? Nobody wants to hear that. They want to hear what you have to say. And you know what else? And this is something I've noticed that I was like kind of a hidden benefit. Content creation, newsletters, videos, all of it makes it so easy. The minute you start leaning into what really powers you and impassions you, you're never going to run out of things to say about this. Never. So I know this is a lot. I threw a lot at you guys today. But this is, and I know it can feel overwhelming and it's hard to do this on your own. I get that. So quick exercise. I wonder if I still have time. I only got a minute left, don't I, huh? Yeah. Okay. So quick thing. You're going to do this on your own. I want you to complete this sentence. People should come to me specifically when they want blank. Okay. So I don't want you to put modalities, credentials, job titles, or any of that, but go home and write that out. Okay. And then of course share with me later of how whether you found that was hard or not. But it's not easy to see the label on the outside of the bottle you're in. And so I'm going to give you very quickly how I would answer that. So it gives you a little bit of help. and I can put it in the chat too. But women entrepreneurs should come to me when they're done wasting energy on visibility that doesn't convert into clients and they're ready to build signature positioning that turns their expertise into influence and revenue. I'll put that in the chat. Yes, very good. Thank you, Catherine, for putting that in there too. The question. So, just to wrap up here, you guys, I don't want you to feel badly about not having anything kind of nailed down in these areas. It's very common, and it's because no one really guides us as entrepreneurs to figure out how to position ourselves in this way. Instead, we're taught tactics first without the meat that makes our marketing effective. And my mission is to ensure that women entrepreneurs have all the guidance they need to build this influence, power, and wealth. And positioning is a part of that. It's a major part of having them get there. So, how many of you guys are thinking I need to get more clear on my positioning? Does everybody? Yeah, a few people. Good, great. Well, you've got kind of the bare bones there. If you want some help with this, if you're ready to start thinking about this, if you want more, more opportunities to get speaking because people get it, then get on a call with me. I'll just drop a link in the chat, and what we'll do is we'll look at your positioning gaps and map out what becoming that obvious choice in your market could look like for you. All right, and I think that does it for me. I'm putting that in the chat right now. And did I make it? Did I go over?
You not only made it, you did a fantastic job. So
Thank
everyone,
you. Thank
unmute
you.
yourself for just a moment here and
Oh,
let's give Melissa some love. Shout it out.
thank you.
Thank you,
Woo!
Lisa.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Woo,
Thank
Oh my
you.
Dandy.
gosh. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
That was so good. So good.
Thank you,
Melissa, thank
Melissa.
you.
Thank you so
Thank you for,
much.
yeah, we
I
so
appreciate it.
appreciate your wisdom, your heart, your brilliance. So amazing job. I loved every word you said. So, to everyone who is here with us live or watching the replay, thank you for being part of this vibrant, supportive, and purpose filled community. If you'd like to learn more about how to get involved in the On Purpose Woman Global community and join us on Zoom or in person gatherings, uh, please explore us at opwgc.com. You can also find out about the magazine, and we're going to put Melissa's this replay. It's on going to be on YouTube for those of you who are here live. We have amazing videos on YouTube, so check those out too. Until next time, stay inspired, stay authentic, and stay connected.
Thank you. Nice to meet you all.